kitchen island out of trash? Great, you're in the right place because today that's what our project is. My name is Kara Sills and my channel is Crafty Recycler. Thank you for joining me and you won't regret it because today not only are we going to learn how to build a kitchen island, but we're also going to learn tips at the hardware store on how to save money and some building tips as well. In prior videos I showed how to make these EcoBricks and also how to paint them to look like marble. So if you missed those videos, after you watch this one, there's links below that you can learn how to make these so that you can do this project. If you're not interested in kitchen island, you can also incorporate these principles into something else you want to build. But for today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to frame this thing out and I'm going to show you how to build the legs, and it'll be a part 1 and part 2 video. Part 2 is going to show you how to build the top. So if you want to see part 2, it's really important to hit the subscribe button right now and the bell to alert you so that when that video comes out, you'll be able to see the follow-up of how to complete the top of this. And for all those who already subscribed to my channel, thank you so much. And thank you so much for all the likes and comments. And without any further delay, let's get started because I am excited. So this is one completed beam that I'm about to put together. I just wanted to show that I got a piece of 1 by 2 by 8 and I cut it down to 39.5 inches. And I've adhered it to the back of this for stability on the back of the beam just to make sure that everything stays together. So the next step is that I'm going to encase each of those pillars with wood. And what I've done is I've bought 1 by 6 by 8 foot and cut it into 40-inch pieces and 7-inch pieces. And I'm going to put one of the 7-inch on the bottom, one on the top. And it's going to look like this right here. I've already constructed a couple of them. And so that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to insert the pillar that I've made inside there. So as you can see, I have that just set in there to help stabilize it as I'm putting the screws in this. And yes, my kitchen's turned into a workshop at this point. So I'm going to put these last 2 screws in. As you can see, the structure is top and bottom, the boards are put on. And this is the progress. This is by no means near finished, but as you can see, the pillars I made out of plastic recycle, I've painted and marbleized. Then I've made wooden frames, which they're not adhered to yet. I'm going to take them out and I'm going to paint the wood frames. And with this paint that I got from Home Depot, and I got it from the mismatched paint, which happens to match perfectly with what I'm doing, for $9. So I highly recommend that if you're doing a project, check the mismatch section first with paint because you can oftentimes get clearance paint that's really good. So as you can see, I have created the columns and stuck them in there, and now I'm framing out the bottom. I'm just going to put the last 2 screws in the bottom and then we'll have our frame out for today. I mentioned about saving money at the hardware store, and I've already mentioned about the paint that you can get in the reduced bin that's been mismatched paint. Today also I'm going to share with you this beautiful piece of wood. I fell in love with this. In fact, I was going to paint it, but I can't bring myself to do it. I just think it's so pretty. But I found this in the reduced bin at Home Depot for 70% off. And it was twice this size. I had it cut in half. Home Depot will cut wood to size for you, which is really great. Anyway, it would have been $44. I got it for $13, the whole big piece. So I'm really excited about that. Just thought I'd share that tip with you. Okay, so moving right along. Okay, so I'm down at the bottom of the frame and I'm getting ready to put the last 2 screws in. I'm using the number 8 2-inch wood screws. And I've already pre-drilled holes so that it goes through easily. And what I'm doing is I'm joining the frame to this outer pillar wood part of the frame here. So to do that, I'm just gonna, if you've never, I'm sure most of you you've drilled before, but if you go slow, then it helps it where you don't strip the head of the screw as much. And so then if you need to, for some reason, take apart the project, you can take the screws out with ease. So I'm just going to screw these in real quick. Okay, so that's one screw now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my level and see. Yep. Okay, so you always want to make sure, of course, it's level as you're going. And then I'll put my other screw in and I'll finish off the framing for today. Okay, so where I left off, I was showing you how I put the bottom box, and then since then I've put on a board on the bottom. I haven't fastened it yet, but I've also put in the shelves on the side, as you see here, and painted them. And I just laid the top piece base on there, and I'm not anywhere near done with that yet, but this is the next step in the process, and then I'm going outside to paint some more wood, and I'll be back. So here are 4 boards that 1x6 and by 46, and they're going to go on the top and bottom of the structure in the front and the back. And then I also just got done painting some plywood for the sides of the project, and here's the plywood here drying against the bike. Okay, so the last shot I showed how I had put the shelves in here, 12 inches across. Now I have putting on the front panels here with some finishing nails, and what I did was I went inside here and I put some screws so that you couldn't see them on the outside. They're short enough to not come through. And then now we're going to put this board on here for the inside of the cabinet. Okay, so today what we did was we just put the plywood in, painted some of the plywood on the sides, tacked it on there, put on the front facing. We didn't attach the trim yet. We're still playing around with what we want it to look like. This is the side. We still have to put a bottom shelf in there and paint. And then we're going to be putting a top on. Instead of that pretty piece of wood that I got, I'm going to use that for a different project because I just can't bring myself to paint it. But then I also took the trim and I painted a little strip of gray across the beaded highlighted area there, and then I put finishing nails through the gray part to hide the finishing nails to attach it to the unit, and then I'll just dab over those nails with a little bit of gray paint. It should blend in really nicely. Okay, so this is currently where I am on the project today. I'm putting some trim on. I'm using some quarter round there on the bottom, cutting it with a miter box, and putting finishing nails in to attach it, finishing nails and a hammer. This piece here I've just marked with a pencil, and I'm going to cut it on a 45-degree angle. And then when I'm finished with that, I put lattice there on the inside, and then on the corners I put this corner trim. So I have one more piece of corner trim that I'm going to put up, and I'll do that in a little bit, but for now I just wanted to show you the progress of where we are, and I'll be back. Okay, so now that I have that piece of corner round on, I have it trimmed out, the corner round on, the lattice work on, and as you can see, those beams that were originally recycled EcoBricks are painted and marbleized and put in a column format to be the pillars for the project. And there's a secret that I have around the side, and I'm going to pan around in a minute and show you, but it's something that I kept a secret from my family, and it's one of the perks to make in your own project is to do something like this. Okay, so now I'm around the side of the project. You can see the piece of corner trim laying there on the ground or the floor that I'm about to put on, but I'm going to show you the secret I was talking about. I put a little thing here. I didn't fasten this board in. And inside here, I have my hidden goodies. And what I have is my hidden health magazines and also my hidden chocolate stash, which I think every woman should have. But anyway, this is, as you can see, fair trade certified, so that's good. And also a clearance item, which double bonus. So anyway, nice to have a little hiding place. When you make your own project, you can do stuff like this. So I'm going to move on with this and put this on the tripod, and I'm going to show you how to put the corner trim on and also put the wood putty on, and then we're going to talk more about the top. So I have a piece of corner trim. I had Home Depot cut it to 40 inches, and I'm going to put it on right here, and I have these nails, the Everbuilt brand, 1.5 inch. It's a 50 pack, and I'm just going to put these couple finishing nails in here. And then I'm going to demonstrate how to use the wood putty to patch up the holes when we're done. So I'll just do this real quick. And with this, I use this to further tap the nail head in so that you can have room to put the wood putty in the hole. And that way, when you're done, it's just one flat, smooth surface that is all white. Because if you don't put that wood putty over it, then you can see the nails. I mean, it's okay, but I prefer to do this where you don't really see the nails. So do that with both of these, and then okay. So now with the wood putty, I'll show you real quick. The brand that I bought is called Varathane Classic Wood Putty Weight, and I just put a little bit in here. I use a leftover spoon, and then I just put it in the hole. And the way this putty is designed, you're not supposed to sand this type, which I was used to using a type you sand, but what you do with this one is you put it on the amount you want and you smooth it with a plastic putty knife, okay? And then when you get the hole filled in, you can wipe the excess left around the hole with a wet cloth and just wipe it off. And then when it dries, you can just go ahead and paint over it with white paint. So let me just wipe off the excess here. And you can dab it too and kind of like smooth it in if you need to. And then, like I said, when it's all done, you can take white paint and paint over it, which is what I did on the rest of the project. So for the sake of time, let's just move on to talk about the top a little bit. Anyway, okay, so now that we've completed the bottom, I wanted to talk a little bit about how we're going to make the top. And I'm really excited because I'm going to use a new product I've never used before, and it's called Stone Coat. And what it does is you can turn anything to make it look like marble or wood, and they give you all these different metallic things that you can mix in with it. So I've never used it, like I said, but I have watched videos and it looks like it's going to be really great. And in addition to that, to make the top of this project, I'm going to incorporate more recycle. We have 2 little dogs, and for dinner time I give them Caesar dog food, but in the morning I give them bagged food. But we get quite a few of these containers, so I was trying to think, well, what can I do with them? Most of the time I would put them in a recycle bin, but I don't know if they ever really get recycled, so I decided to start saving them, cleaning them, and then I'm going to incorporate them into making the top of this project. In addition to these, because I don't have enough to do what I actually want to do right now, I decided I was going to incorporate a few other things like these styrofoam containers and even these nasty old pair of shoes. These are my old comfy, but yet I've always thought they were extremely ugly. Sorry Crocs, but yeah, you gotta kick it up like 10 notches because they're really not that attractive, but yet you have the comfort right on point. Okay. All that having been said, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, hit the like button, and if you want to see the upcoming video on how to make the top of this project, please hit the subscribe button and the little bell, and it will alert you to the next upcoming video. Have a wonderful day, and thanks again for joining me.